Good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to Bible in a Year with Lovie. We are on day 70. Yeah, look at us making progress. We're reading the Life Application Study Bible, New Living Translation, 3rd edition. Today we're going to read Deuteronomy 13, 14, and 15, and then we're going to flip over to Mark chapter 12 and finish it off. So if you guys are ready, let's dive right in. Deuteronomy chapter 13. Suppose there are prophets among you, or those who dream dreams about the future, and they promise you signs or miracles, and the predicted signs or miracles occur. If they then say, "Come, let us worship other gods, gods you have not known before," do not listen to them. The Lord your God is testing you to see if you truly love him with all your heart and soul. Serve only the Lord your God and fear him alone. Obey his commands, listen to his voice, and cling to him. The false prophets or visionaries who try to lead you astray must be put to death, for they encourage rebellion against the Lord your God, who redeemed you from slavery and brought you out of the land of Egypt. Since they try to lead you astray from the way the Lord your God commanded you to live, you must put them to death. In this way, you will purge the evil from among you. Suppose someone secretly entices you, even your brother, your son or daughter, your beloved wife, or your closest friend, and says, "Let us go worship other gods, gods that neither you nor your ancestors have known." They might suggest that you worship the gods of peoples who live nearby or who come from the ends of the earth. But do not give in or listen. Have no pity and do not spare or protect them. You must put them to death. Strike the first blow yourself, and then all the people must join in. Stone the guilty ones to death because they've tried to draw you away from the Lord your God, who rescued you from the land of Egypt, the place of slavery. Then all Israel will hear about it and be afraid, and no one will act so wickedly again. When you begin living in the towns the Lord your God is giving you, you may hear that scoundrels among you are leading their fellow citizens astray by saying, "Let us go worship other gods, gods you have not known before." In such cases, you must examine the facts carefully. If you find that the report is true and such a detestable act has been committed among you, you must attack that town and completely destroy all its inhabitants, as well as all the livestock. Then you must pile all the plunder in the middle of the open square and burn it. Burn the entire town as a burnt offering to the Lord your God. That town must remain a ruin forever. It may never be rebuilt. Keep none of the plunder that has been set apart for destruction. Then the Lord will turn from his fierce anger and be merciful to you. He will have compassion on you and make you a large nation, just as he swore to your ancestors. The Lord your God will be merciful only if you listen to his voice and keep all his commands that I'm giving you today, doing what pleases him. I'm just saying, God ain't doing no playing. Like yesterday, today, he's like saying, look, don't serve no other gods. Don't follow someone else into sin by serving their God, by worshiping that thing they worship. Don't do it. And that includes, being a lot of times things such as like your phone, these games nowadays everybody plays. You get drawn into them. This generation gets drawn into them, and it's like they're so absorbed by it that's all they live, eat, breathe, and dream is their games. Don't draw somebody else into that if that's something you're struggling with. Instead, take the time to examine your heart and ask God to examine your heart and purify it. Like, get rid of the things that are taking up your time. You're not supposed to worship any other gods but God. God Almighty. None other. So I just challenge y'all to take a minute today and just ask God to reveal to you anything that you're putting above Him. Anything that you might be idolizing. Anything that might be taking His place. The things that get more time from you than God does. Because He ain't with that. 14. Since you're the people of the Lord your God, never cut yourselves or shave the hair above your foreheads in mourning for the dead. You've been set apart as holy to the Lord your God, and He has chosen you from all the nations of the earth to be His own special treasure. You must not eat any detestable animals. Excuse me. That are ceremonially unclean. These are the animals you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the addax, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. You may eat any animal that has completely split hooves and chews the cud. But if the animal doesn't have both, it may not be eaten. So you may not eat the camel, the hare, or the hyrax. Let's see what it says about what a hyrax is. According to this, a hyrax is a coney or a rock badger. I still don't know what those things are, so I'm going to have to look that up and see what I can find out. But anyways, they chew the cud but do not have split hooves, so they are ceremonially unclean for you. And you may not eat the pig. It has split hooves but does not chew the cud, so it is ceremonially unclean for you. You may not eat the meat of... Eat the meat of these animals or even touch their carcasses. And that's tough, man, because I mean, we love bacon. Bacon, ham, sausage. No, we come from that generation. We love us some pork. But I mean, it says right here, pigs are ceremonially unclean. And I didn't know that about the hare. And I've read this before. It probably just didn't dawn on me that, like, you can't eat the hare, so you can't eat rabbit. Aren't the rabbit and the hare the same thing, right? Anyways, random thoughts. Of all the marine animals, you may eat whatever has both fins and scales. You may not, however, eat marine animals that do not have both fins and scales. They are ceremonially unclean for you. So if it doesn't have fins and scales, I wonder if that means you can't eat, like, squid. You may eat any bird that is ceremonially clean. These are the birds you may not eat: the griffin vulture, the bearded vulture, the black vulture, the kite, the falcon, buzzards of all kinds, ravens of all kinds, the eagle owl, the short-eared owl, the seagull, hawks of all kinds, the little owl, the great owl, the barn owl, the desert owl, the Egyptian vulture, the cormorant, I'm not sure what that is, the stork, herons of all kinds, the hoopoe, and the bat. All winged insects that walk along the ground are ceremonially unclean for you and may not be eaten. But you may eat any winged bird or insect that is ceremonially clean. Huh. Okay. You must not eat anything that has died a natural death. You may give it to a foreigner living in your town, or you may sell it to a stranger, but do not eat it yourselves, for you are set apart as holy to the Lord your God. You must not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. I mean, that's reasonable, you know. You must set aside a tithe of your crops. 1/10 of all the crops you harvest each year. Bring this tithe to the designated place of worship, the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be honored, and eat it there in his presence. This applies to your tithes of grain, new wine, olive oil, and the firstborn males of your flocks and herds. Doing this will teach you always to fear the Lord your God. I'm saying, it says right here that you must set aside a tithe of your crops, 1/10 of all your crops that you harvest each year. And you bring this tithe to the designated place of worship. So, I mean, times are different, but the crops that we bear generally are like our paychecks. So we go to work, we earn money. 1/10 of our money should be going back to the Lord's house, to the place that he designates, you know, with his name on it. Like it says, 1/10 of all the crops you harvest each year. Bring this tithe to the designated place of worship, the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be honored. So anybody who has questions about tithes, Deuteronomy 14:22 through 23 gives you a real good, clear outline of what your tithes should look like. 10%. Now, when the Lord your God blesses you with a good harvest, the place of worship he chooses for his name to be honored might be too far for you to bring the tithe. If so, you may sell the tithe portion of your crops and herds, put the money in a pouch, and go to the place the Lord your God has chosen. When you arrive, you may use the money to buy any kind of food you want: cattle, sheep, goats, wine, or other alcoholic drink. Then feast there in the presence of the Lord your God and celebrate with your household. And do not neglect the Levites in your town, for they will receive no allotment of land among you. At the end of every third year, bring the entire tithe of that year's harvest and store it in the nearest town. Give it to the Levites, who will receive no allotment of land among you, as well as the foreigners living among you, the orphans and the widows in your town, so they can eat and be satisfied. Then the Lord your God will bless you in all your work. In other words, look, it's not saying what I'm getting from this, like what I'm getting from this, what I just read. It's not saying that all your tithes have to go into the church. It's saying, you know, give it to the Levites who receive no allotment of land, as well as to foreigners living among you, to the orphans, to the widows in your towns, so they can eat and be satisfied. The Lord your God will bless you in all your work. Like he wants you to take your tithe and he wants you to feast with him. He wants you to fellowship with him. That's what he wants. So, he doesn't want you to leave out the people who are less fortunate. Like, you should go and serve. You should serve those who are like the least of these. The ones who don't have it, who can't afford it. People who, you know, might not get a meal today. Do your part to look out for people who otherwise can't look out for themselves. Steward well the things that God gives you. Bless other people. Be a blessing to other people. We should all strive to be better to other people. You know, like I just want to be that person who brings the ray of sunshine into somebody's darkness, in whatever way it is. If I can make someone else smile and bring the joy of the Lord to them, then I know that I'm doing what God called me to do. And I think that the world will be a much better place if we all strive to do that same thing. 15. At the end of every 7th year, you must cancel the debts of everyone who owes you money. This is how it must be done. Everyone must cancel the loans they have made to their fellow Israelites. They must not demand payment from their neighbors or relatives, for the Lord's time of release has arrived. This release from debt, however, applies only to your fellow Israelites, not to the foreigners living among you. There should be no poor among you, for the Lord your God will greatly bless you in the land he's given you as a special possession. You will receive this blessing if you are careful to obey all the commands of the Lord your God that I'm giving you today. The Lord your God will bless you as he has promised. You will lend money to many nations, but will never need to borrow. You will rule many nations, but they will not rule over you. Yes, Lord, I want to be the lender and not the borrower. Yes, Lord, I want to see that favor. I want to get there. I know, to get there, it says, you will receive this blessing if you are careful to obey all the commands of the Lord your God that I'm giving you today. The Lord your God will bless you as he has promised. You will lend money to many nations, but will never need to borrow. You will rule many nations, but they will not rule over you. But if there are any poor Israelites in your towns when you arrive in the land the Lord your God is giving you, do not be hard-hearted or tight-fisted toward them. Instead, be generous and lend them whatever they need. Do not be mean-spirited and refuse someone a loan because the year for canceling debts is close at hand. If you refuse to make the loan and the needy person cries out to the Lord, you will be considered guilty of sin. Give generously to the poor, not grudgingly, for the Lord your God will bless you in everything you do. Give generously and with a happy heart, man. Be happy. Be a happy giver. Nothing makes me feel better than when I get to do something for somebody else. Like the joy of being able to help somebody, even in the smallest way. Like us being able to go and help pass out, lunches on Easter Sunday after church. Like, man, just the feeling, just seeing somebody smile, just knowing that you made somebody feel like somebody actually cared about them that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no more joy than to be able to help somebody else, than to see somebody smile, than to make somebody's day, than to let somebody feel the love of Jesus. There's no greater joy than that. I promise. Try it. There will always be some in the land who are poor, but that is why I'm commanding you to share freely with the poor and with other Israelites in need. If a fellow Hebrew sells himself or herself to be your servant and serves you for 6 years, in the 7th year you must set that servant free. When you release a male servant, do not send him away empty-handed. Give him a generous farewell gift from your flock, your threshing floor, and your winepress. Share with him some of the bounty with which the Lord your God has blessed you. Remember that you were once slaves in the lands of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. That is why I'm giving you this command. But suppose your servant says, I will not leave you, because he loves you and your family, and he has done well with you. In that case, take an awl and push it through his earlobe into the door. After that, he will be your servant for life, and do the same for your female servants. You must not consider it a hardship when you release your servants. Remember that for 6 years they've given you services worth double the wages of hired workers, and the Lord your God will bless you in all you do. You must set aside for the Lord your God all the firstborn males from your flocks and herds. Do not use the firstborn of your herds to work your fields, and do not shear the firstborn of your flocks. Instead, you and your family must eat these animals in the presence of the Lord your God. Each year at the place he chooses. But if this firstborn animal has any defect, such as lameness or blindness, or if anything else is wrong with it, you must not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. Instead, use it for food for your family in your hometown. Anyone, whether ceremonially clean or unclean, may eat it, just as anyone may eat a gazelle or deer. But you must not consume the blood. You must pour it out on the ground like water. All right. So I guess now's the time, a good time as any. If you're interested in contributing to this ministry, if you'd like to see me get better lighting or equipment, or, you know, if you'd like to in any way partner with me in contributing to my youth, young adult ministry, you know, participate in, you know, the purchasing of the food. I do feed them every single week faithfully. I'm gonna leave links in the comments with like my Cash App and like Venmo, Zelle, whatever. If you're interested in donating to either of the ministries, if God put it on your heart, then, and I don't ask for help, and I'm not asking for help. I'm just saying, if God so puts it on your heart, I will leave links in the comments. So if you decide you'd like to help out with some stuff, that'd be awesome. But it's not neat. I mean, it'll be greatly appreciated, but I'm not requesting it. Let me just put it like that. Whatever. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. If you would like to contribute to the ministry God put on my lap, then that I will leave a link for you to be able to do so. And I'm sure that we will all be very thankful, especially these kids, whenever I get them something to fix for Tuesday night. Anyways, let's see, Mark chapter 12. It's so weird at like even saying anything about if you want to partner, if you would like to make a donation. I don't ever want y'all to think like I'm not doing this for I'm not doing this for me. This is not at all for me. Like, God put it on my heart to say something about donations, but I don't feel like anybody should feel, you know, required to make a donation. I mean, would it be, you know, beneficial to the ministries? Of course it would. But is it necessary? No, because my God's going to always provide. And I just feel weird having even said anything about donations. But whatever. Mark chapter 12. We are going to start today with verse 28. Y'all don't judge me. Y'all know I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, this is all new to me. It's not like I've been on YouTube for very long. It's not like I've been recording videos for very long. And I don't edit these. So whatever I've said in this, if y'all are laughing at me, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Because I'm sure y'all will get more laughs. This ain't going to be the last time. Anyways. Mark chapter 12, we're going to start with verse 28. We're going to finish it out. Let's go. One of the teachers of religious law was standing there listening to the debate. He realized that Jesus had answered well, so he asked, of all the commandments, which is the most important? Jesus replied, the most important commandment is this. Listen, O Israel, the Lord our God is the one and only Lord. And you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. The second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. No other commandment is greater than these. The teacher of religious law replied, well said, teacher. You have spoken the truth by saying that there is only one God and no other. And I know it's important to love him with all my heart and all my understanding and all my strength, and to love my neighbor as myself. This is more important than to offer all of the burnt offerings and sacrifices required in the law. Realizing how much the man understood, Jesus said to him, you are not far from the kingdom of God. And after that, no one dared to ask him any more questions. Later, as Jesus was teaching the people in the temple, he asked, "Why do the teachers of religious law claim that the Messiah is the son of David? For David himself, speaking under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, said, 'The Lord said to my Lord, sit in the place of honor at my right hand until I humble your enemies beneath your feet.' Since David himself called the Messiah my Lord, how can the Messiah be his son?" The large crowd listened to him with great delight. Good question. Jesus also taught, "Beware of these teachers of religious law, for they like to parade around in flowing robes and receive respectful greetings as they walk in the marketplaces, and how they love the seats of honor in the synagogues and the head table at banquets. Yet they shamelessly cheat widows out of their property and then pretend to be pious by making long prayers in public. Because of this, they will be more severely punished." That way. Jesus sat down near the collection box in the temple and watched as the crowds dropped in their money. Many rich people put in large amounts. Then a poor widow came and dropped in 2 small coins. Jesus called his disciples to him and said, "I tell you the truth. This poor widow has given more than all the others who are making contributions, for they gave a tiny part of their surplus. But she, poor as she is, has given everything she had to live on." And that speaks volumes. And that just speaks for itself. All right, guys, that's it for today. Y'all remember, if you want to see a change, you got to be the change. We lead by example. We follow by design. If it ain't a God thing, it ain't a good thing. I pray all of y'all have had a wonderful, blessed day already, and that you continue to have a blessed rest of the day. I hope y'all go out and love like Jesus, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.